Every year, the world spends an astonishing amount of money on weapons. We're talking trillions of dollars. But have you ever stopped to think about what that really means? What are we giving up for this global arms race? Today, we're rediving deep into the hidden costs of military spending and exploring the profound economic consequences for nations and their people. Let's start with the sheer scale of it all. In recent years, global military expenditure has reached record highs, soaring past $2 trillion annually. To put that into perspective, that's more than $6,000 spent every single second. This money funds everything from a soldier's rifle to hypersonic missiles, from tanks and fighter jets to sprawling aircraft carrier groups. It's a colossal industry, employing millions and driving technological innovation at a breathtaking pace. The main players in this arena are the world's major powers. Countries like the United States, China, and Russia lead the pack, accounting for a massive chunk of the total spending. But they're not alone. Regional tensions in the Middle East, South Asia, and Eastern Europe fuel significant military buildups, creating a domino effect where one nation's new weapon system prompts its neighbors to respond in kind. This action-reaction cycle is the very definition of an arms race. It's a competitive spiral, driven by fear, ambition, and the relentless pursuit of a strategic edge. No one wants to be left behind, and the result is a world bristling with more advanced and destructive weaponry than ever before. But this security comes at a staggering price, and that brings us to the core of our discussion: the economic trade-offs. This concept is often called opportunity cost. Every dollar spent on a missile is a dollar that can't be spent on a hospital bed. Every hour of a scientist's time devoted to designing a new stealth bomber is an hour not spent on developing renewable energy or finding a cure for a disease. Think about it. It's the cost of a single modern fighter jet, which can run into the hundreds of millions of dollars, could fund the construction of dozens of schools or provide clean drinking water to thousands of communities. The budget for one advanced naval destroyer could pay the annual salaries of tens of thousands of teachers or nurses. These aren't just abstract numbers. They represent real choices with real consequences for everyday people. When governments prioritize military spending, other vital sectors of the economy and society often face cuts. Budgets for education, healthcare, infrastructure, and social welfare programs can be squeezed. This can lead to underfunded schools, overcrowded hospitals, crumbling roads and bridges, and weaker social safety nets. Over time, this underinvestment can hinder a nation's long-term development and reduce the quality of life for its citizens. Furthermore, a heavily militarized economy can create distortions. When a significant portion of a country's brightest minds and most advanced technologies are channeled into the defense sector, it can stifle innovation in civilian industries. The civilian tech sector, manufacturing, and other areas that drive sustainable economic growth may be starved of the talent and resources they need to thrive. This creates a dependency on a defense industry that, while profitable, doesn't produce goods or services that directly improve most people's daily lives. Now, let's look at the impact on a global scale. The immense debt that nations accumulate to fund their militaries can be a heavy burden. For developing countries, this is particularly damaging. Taking on massive loans to purchase foreign-made weapons can divert scarce resources away from poverty reduction, education, and basic services. It can lock them into a cycle of debt and dependency, making it even harder to achieve economic stability and prosperity. The international arms trade is a lucrative business for the exporting countries, but it can come at a devastating cost to the importers. Moreover, the arms race doesn't just drain financial resources, it also fuels instability. The proliferation of weapons can escalate tensions, making conflicts more likely and more deadly. A region flooded with arms is a tinderbox waiting for a spark. The resulting wars and conflicts create humanitarian crises, displace millions of people, and destroy entire economies. The cost of rebuilding after a conflict is always exponentially higher than the cost of preventing it in the first place. It's a vicious cycle where spending on arms leads to conflict, which in turn necessitates even more spending on reconstruction and security. So, what is the alternative? Shifting priorities is not a simple task, but it is a necessary conversation. Redirecting even a small fraction of global military spending could have a transformative impact. Imagine what we could achieve. We could fund global efforts to combat climate change, eradicate diseases like malaria and tuberculosis, and ensure every child on the planet has access to quality education. We could invest in sustainable development, create millions of green jobs, and build a more resilient global economy. This isn't a utopian fantasy. It's a matter of choice and political will. Organizations and movements around the world are advocating for disarmament and a reallocation of these vast resources. They argue that true security isn't just about military might, it's about human security. It's about having access to healthcare, education, a clean environment, and economic opportunity. It's about building bridges of diplomacy and cooperation instead of walls of fear and suspicion. The paradox is that in our quest for security through arms, we may be making ourselves more insecure. We are depleting the very resources needed to address the root causes of conflict: poverty, inequality, and environmental degradation. The global arms race is a high-stakes gamble where the vast military-industrial complex always wins, while humanity pays the price. It's time for a new way of thinking, a way that recognizes that our fates are interconnected and that our greatest challenges, from pandemics to climate change, cannot be solved with tanks and fighter jets. They require global cooperation, shared investment, and a commitment to building a more just and peaceful world. What are your thoughts on this? Is the price of the global arms race too high? Let us know in the comments below. Thank you for watching. If you found this video insightful, please give it a like and subscribe for more deep dives into the issues that shape our world.